Hola, buenas tardes y bienvenidos a la clase de español. Yo me llamo señora S. Y yo estoy alegre, yo estoy feliz, yo estoy contenta que tus estudiantes decidieran tomar el lenguaje más bonito en todo el mundo. Bienvenidos a la clase de español. Okay, I will start speaking English so you don't turn off your screen. Welcome, everyone. Thanks for tuning in tonight. I am super excited to have your students in this year in our crazy Spanish class. I just wanted to give you a little preview about how the class is going to be throughout the year. And if you have any questions or anything, feel free to email me at any time. So this is just mi familia, my family. I just wanted to talk a little bit about the materials that we will need in Spanish this year. So you all have probably gotten your realidades, your textbook. The textbook is for your child to keep at home and use as a resource. The great thing about the textbook is in the back of the textbook, it has a glossary, an index, where students can go and use as a Spanish-English dictionary. So you do not have to go and buy a dictionary at a bookstore. It's there for them in their textbook. The also great thing about the index is, let's say I am teaching like how to tell time in Spanish, and for whatever reason, maybe they thought I was speaking Latin or French or something, they didn't understand me that day, they can always go to the index and look up telling time and then turn to that page in the textbook, and it's also there for them too. It's a really good resource, a guide. I don't teach directly from the textbook like you would in math, page 1, page 2, page 3. And the reason for that is this book skips around a ton. For example, on page maybe 10, they want me to teach the verb ser, but they only want me to teach the first 3 forms of the verb ser, and then maybe on page 210, I teach the last 2 forms of ser. It doesn't really make sense. It's not a sequential book, so it's a little hard for the students to follow. In addition, it's a very fast paced book. So like one day it wants me to teach all the body parts, the next day all the numbers, the third day all the days of the week. No one learns like that. Your children would probably throw tomatoes at me if I made them learn that fast, and they wouldn't retain anything. So the book, again, is a really good resource, but it's not what we're going to go through like a math book, page 1, page 2. It's more of a resource for them. So because of that, what I want them to have is their own Spanish notebook, a binder you can purchase anywhere. 1.5 inches to 2 inches is perfect. We are going to make our own textbook. And the reason for that is because this is Spanish 1. And when they go to high school, they're going to take Spanish 2 and 3 and hopefully 4, and then maybe even AP, which I hope is my hope for all of them. But this way, they're making their own resource in that notebook. I'm going to give them so much vocabulary over this course of the year, and obviously that they want to keep that vocabulary to take with them to Spanish 2. As I told my students, I promise you, all of the words that I teach you this year are not going to jumble up and change in the dictionary. They're all the words you're going to need to take to Spanish 2 and 3 and 4. So by making their own notebook, they'll have a great resource for all of their vocab, all of their important strategies, grammar strategies to take with them to Spanish 2. So please, if they can get a binder by Friday, that would be awesome. So I just wanted to share this with you. Unfortunately, the AP scores are not out from last year because of the crazy pandemic that we're in, but this was the year before. Your students are already one up on everybody else. This is a high school level class. Spanish 1 high school level class. It counts for their transcripts to college, and it counts as a high school level class. So your students can take my class now. Then they would enter at the high school in Spanish 2 and 3 as a freshman. And then if they don't like Spanish, which I hope that's not true, but if that's what the case is, they can be done with their language requirement forever. All they need is 2 years in the high school to graduate. You need 2 years for a state school or any community college. So they've done that. They've actually done 3 as their freshman year. But hopefully your child is going to love Spanish and they want to take it more. So they can take 2 and 3 as the freshman. As a sophomore, they can do 4 in what's called AP Spanish. At the end of their AP class, or Spanish 5, they will take an AP test. If they pass that test, then they now have 16 units in college that they just tested out of, which means a whole lot less money for you in college and a whole lot of time saved for them in college. 16 units is almost like an entire semester at any school. So it's a really awesome deal for them. In addition, this is like I said, not last year, the year before. And the year before that, AP scores are the same. Only 3 students in all of the AP classes did not pass. That is really awesome. So if you look here, 97% of all Granite Bay High School students that took the AP test passed. So don't let them worry about it. Like, let them take it. It's awesome. If they pass it, then it's only good things that happen. If they don't, nothing happens to them. So it's a really good way to get college credit and get a one-up on the college savings already. Okay, so the objectives for Spanish 1. So every single day, even in distance learning, I'm going to try to do a writing, a reading, a listening, and a speaking activity and throw as much culture as them as possible every single day. I know it is going to be different in this distance learning, but I'm still going to do that. Why? Because in order to speak Spanish, you have to speak Spanish. So you can't just listen and read and write it. You also have to speak it. So I need them to unmute their microphones sometimes and speak to me so that they all get it. So every single day we will be doing one of these, at least one activity every day of each of them. So how it's going to go, the high school class is in semesters, broken into 2. For junior high, I have broken into 3 trimesters. So at the end of each trimester, we will have a final. Like at the end of every semester in high school, you have a final, a midterm and a final. Here we just have trimester 1 final, trimester 2, and trimester 3. And they are just 3 finals, if you will, to pass the class. So our first trimester, we're going to be learning about greetings, formal and informal, the tú and usted, how to tell time, how to describe the weather, dates. We're going to discuss what they like, what they dislike. Introducing people, how to discuss your personality. Do you feel happy? Are you sad? Are you mad today? All of those kinds of things and their emotions. We're going to talk about their school and their classes. Do you have Inglés, Historia, all that great stuff. Second semester, we are going to talk about where they are and where they're going. So the verb ir. We're going to learn how to extend and to receive invitations. We're going to talk about plans for vacations, weekends. This comes around Christmas, so it works really well. We're going to talk about deportes, lots of sports that they play and the sports they like to watch. And of course, we're going to be talking about your family celebrations, quinceañeras, all that good stuff. In trimester 3, we're going to just express desires, feelings, and emotions. We're going to learn about clothing, horoscopes, and I always end the year in food. Why do I end the year in food? Where at the high school they begin the year in food? Because these are 8th graders. And at the end of the year, especially around April and May, I start to lose them because they're already done with 8th grade. They want to go to high school. But how I can keep them with me is talking about food, learning about food, eating food. They love food. So there's so much vocabulary of food. Like just go to your own refrigerator, open it up, and think about how many words you know in English on food. I have to teach them all of those words only in Spanish. So we do lots of fun things with restaurants and taco trucks, lots of good things coming their way. So that's kind of the breakdown of the 3 trimesters and what we're going to learn. We do learn everything in the present tense. So next year they'll go to Spanish 2 and they'll learn all of this stuff only in the past tense. Then they'll go to Spanish 3 and they'll learn all of this stuff only in the future tense, and so on and so on. Okay, they are going to have one big proyecto, a project. So what I've decided for this year, because of distance learning, we're going to do this proyecto in the first trimester and get it over and done with, because they can totally do all of this research-based with a partner through Google Classroom, through Google Slides, sharing, and on their own at home. So we're going to get it done here. So hopefully when we go to trimester 2 and we're in class, we don't have to worry about any of this. Now your students don't know anything about the proyecto. That's for next week. But they're going to be able to choose a person they want to work with. They're going to be able to pick a country. There are so many Spanish-speaking countries in the world. There is no way that I can possibly teach them about every single one of them and teach them well and get through all of the curriculum I need to get through. So for that reason, each pair group will pick one Spanish-speaking country. Each pair group will have a different Spanish-speaking country so we can get everybody in the class. And they are going to have to research it, but not just research it like you would do in a 4th grade class. You're going to find out what the kids look like, what their school day looks like, what kind of songs do they sing, what kind of dances do they do, what do they wear to school, what kind of food do they eat. So here's where you guys, the parents, come in on this awesome proyecto. Usually, I will have my students make a dish and then bring it in for us to share. But that's not going to work through distance learning. So I'm going to ask them to make a dish. One partner make a main course, one partner make a dessert, and they have to share it with you, the family members. So you guys get to eat in this proyecto and enjoy what they made. So they'll show us in their slide pictures of you enjoying it, what your thoughts on the food was, the recipe, all of that good stuff. So it's kind of more fun for you because you get to eat instead of us eating. But we'll have more directions as this comes about, but it will be due the week before the end of the trimester. So they'll have the whole trimester 1 to work on this. It is 100 points, and there'll be clear instructions coming on Google Classroom next week. But enjoy the food and let me know what you think, how well your student was a chef or not. Okay, assessments. So every single Monday, I think I mentioned, I give your child new vocabulary words, and they're usually between 20 to 30 words. And then we will practice those words Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then on Friday, we will have a quiz over those words. I don't want them to just learn the words for the week because Spanish is like building with Legos. You have to build the foundation before you can build the walls. You have to build the walls before you can build the roof. So we have to build on all that vocabulary. They can't forget it at all. So that's why it's so important to make sure they're accountable on Friday, that they know all of their words. For this first trimester, all the quizzes will be on Google Classroom, Google Quiz format, so there'll be multiple choice. But it's still important that they do know how to spell, acentos, all of that good stuff. So usually you could just treat it like a spelling test like you did when your child was in 3rd grade. So to help them study, you can quiz them. For this week, obviously, we have words like hola, buenos dias. So if you're not comfortable speaking in Spanish, ask them in English. Hello, and they have to say to you, hola, good morning. And they say, buenos dias, okay? So you can help them with that vocab, but every single night they should be studying their vocabulary one way or the other for at least 15 minutes so they can do perfecto on Friday's test. In addition, we will have, like I said, a final test every trimester. So trimester 1, trimester 2, and trimester 3. And then that proyecto will be one only, and that will be at the end of trimester 1 due. Okay, PowerSchool, everybody's favorite thing. I am kind of crazy and I update PowerSchool every single day. So if your child has a 0 for any assignment in PowerSchool, that simply means they just didn't turn in anything at all. That is the only reason. Can that 0 go away? Of course it can. All they have to do is turn in the work. Now with Google Classroom, I will tell you, once the assignment has been due and it's done, I don't get an email saying, oh, Johnny submitted his work late. So your child has to just email me and say, oh, Señora Essay, I did my assignment. Can you go back and grade it? No problem. Thanks for telling me. I will absolutely go back and grade it. So you can always see their grades every single day. I don't wait till the end of the week. It's up every single time. I do give homework every single night, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I will never give homework on the weekends. I believe the weekend is family time, sports time, catch-up time, whatever it must be. But they can always do anything to catch up, redo homework, absolutely, at all times. If you have any questions throughout the semester, trimester, 3 trimesters, please email me. My email is right here. I also want your students to email me too. This is the time where they need to be advocates for themselves. I will always respond to email within the day. I do go to bed around 9 o'clock, so anytime after that, I will get to it the next morning. But otherwise, I will always respond to them and come up with some solution for sure to help them. So have them email me first. If you have a question, you're more than welcome to email me as well anytime you would like. I do want you to just know that I have a website. My website you can go on by clicking here, or you can go on by clicking the Cavett or Olympus. I teach at both schools, both Olympus and Cavett website, and then just go to the staff directory and find my name, and then you can click my name and it'll come to this. But the most important thing, there's so much stuff on this website is great, but I want you to pay attention right here to Quizlet. So Quizlet, I have put on over 10,000 vocabulary words for your student to use. This is a super good resource for them to use every night for 15 minutes. If they're struggling, even if they just want to play video games, it's awesome. So this week we're learning saludos. So you just want to click on that. Okay, so you're just going to click on saludos like this. When you click on saludos, you will see so many words come up and they have audio. So you can go to flashcards and it'll be buenas noches. You click on it and it tells you the answers. You can do this as long as you want, as many times as you want. It's great. You can learn with Quizlet. When you learn, it's the same thing. You write the student. This is a really good for spelling. You just type in la estudiante and then answer, and it'll help you and it'll say correct, nicely done. So I love it because it's instant gratification. You can also, with Quizlet, go to spelling, same thing, writing, same thing. But the best part is where it says play right here. So for example, they can play video games. Yes, I tell your students to play video games. Under match, you just try to make everything disappear. So, por favor, you try to find please, and you hit it together and it disappears. Mucho gusto, pleased to meet you. You match it together. Nothing, nada. Okay, and you just keep going and going until they're all adios, and then they get a score. And for example, it says 19.1 seconds, and then they can try to beat the best score, and then it gets competitive and super fun. But the best part of Quizlet is there's so many words on there that they can play and play and play and play forever. So please check out my website. Please email me for anything. I am so excited I have your students in class this year. Can't wait to meet all of you and see all of your students in my class. Let's hope by second trimester. But until then, we will be off, and Google Classroom is your best friend, my best friend too. And have a super evening, and thanks for tuning in. Adios.